G'day, welcome to the Portress podcast. This is She's Got the Power. We're going to round 10 of the AFLW season for 2025. It is showdown time, showdown number 4. So it's one I think we're probably the most even of the teams going into a showdown yet in the women's competition. With me is Gavin Watson. Again, Gavin, good evening, Gavin. It is a Wednesday podcast, so we do have a couple other info that we normally don't get on a Monday, like the injury report, a couple other things we can talk about. And I guess then we've probably got a bit more, 2 days, a bit more closer to the Friday night game. So there's a bit more clarity as we analyse the upcoming showdown at Norwood Oval.
Absolutely. No, good
Uh,
day, Matt.
s- so, g'day, mate. Thank you very much again for joining us, buddy. Before we talk about your venture on Friday night to the parade, Alberton Friday night. Let's get straight into it. Last game of the year at our home base, and obviously all the things, the trimmings that come from around the game. So the pubs are just up and about, and just the atmosphere is alive at Alberton, and there's nothing like game day. I imagine that AFLW experience. It can equate somewhat to your experience and our experience, our experience when we were at Alberton as kids, with just the
Yeah,
massive crowd at a game day experience at Alberton.
yeah. So there ended up being just over 3,000 people there,
Yep.
and with the renovations that they're doing, half of the oval is fenced off. So the
Oh,
3,000 were from behind the Queen Street
I
goals,
saw that, recognise that. Yeah.
and they had a couple of things set up at the far end, and they used the Bowls Club a bit. But yeah, so atmosphere-wise, it was really good.
Yeah,
That
active.
sort of 3,000 people in half the oval
Yep.
gives it a bit more of a bit of a festive feel. And
It's a bit of a
yeah,
just a pin in just what we're talking about. You've got me thinking. Quick one. So then, in that case, are we kind of? Do you think that's popular enough that and justifying what we're doing to kind of have? Is it next season or the year? It's probably the season after that all renovations will be done, that we can see what 8, 10? What's the number for a full crowd in an AFLW game? And that might kind of equate to a pre-season AFL game as well. I guess you get St Kilda or Gold Coast at Alberton for a pre-season game as well.
look, yeah, the crowd sizes have generally been around the 3,000 mark,
Hmm.
and as the side continues to perform well, I'm
Yeah.
sure year on year that it's going to grow. And look, if the growth is sort of 10 to 20%, then you quickly, within another couple of seasons, are getting up around 4,000 without even trying. And if the side is successful and continually playing finals, then more people become interested as well. The other part as well, I think, is that investment is also looking towards when, for the men's side of things, the AFL introduces the reserves competition.
Yeah.
So that's where an Alberton Oval would be used, and
Brilliant.
there
Oh,
is
that's
the
going to be
potential
mad.
to have the 8 to 10,000 people. So the extra grandstand
Yeah.
has appeal, because then there's a bit more protection from the weather,
Sure.
be it rainy or whether it's sunny. You can sit in the grandstand and be protected. So
Yeah.
yeah, just
It's
improve
interesting.
features and facilities at the ground.
And Gavin, that's a debate. That's an interesting topic about who's more popular, and the Port Adelaide SANFL team that we see, throughout the season at the moment, as the reserve side, the second side, or an AFL team that is an SA, like the AFL reserves team. How would that, just require the fans come out a bit more? They kind of identify more, or is that still? Because I don't know. Obviously, we won't kind of be having the prison bars kind of thing. Would be all the more we kind of are investing into all the retro stuff that comes with having it for a showdown and stuff, so we can have it for the SANFL showdowns if and when the time comes that we exit the SANFL.
Exactly. Yeah. Look, I
Yeah.
think the interest from the crowd, there's more in the AFLW, the
Yep.
SNFL side of things.
Yeah.
The opposing sides generally have slightly bigger crowds than the Port. Um, Port have a lot of rusted on long term 20, 30, 40 year supporters that go out to watch the Magpies
Yes.
play. They there'd be a level of frustration and disappointment when we transition across. But I'm no doubt that a large percentage, if not
Oh,
the entirety
absolutely.
of them, will continue to still go out
Oh, I think it'll
and
build. I think
what
the justification in setting this investment for having a massive big stadium there for a future is one that is a correct investment. So it's
I
a
absolutely.
smart thing. Yeah, it's going to pay off. You're going to see a big crowd. Finals for AFL. Like the AFLW, could probably justify finals if it's I know Adelaide Oval can be there for a big final as well. But maybe you get a final with a team that's not one of the big draw crowd teams or something. I don't know. Just I can see you can see the benefits anyway, especially as you say during the season for the home games for the women's and obviously the men's reserves and the as I said, I still see benefits. Obviously, benefits probably a lot of benefits for the AFL team throughout the season, just with the training facilities and the setups, but it benefits as well for pre-season with the crowd.
Absolutely. And the wider
Um,
Alberton community
sorry.
as well. And the wider Alberton community
Oh,
for the
absolutely.
improved facilities. So there's the opportunity for corporates and the like to
Yeah.
utilise some of those things during the week as well.
So that's not all just going to be seating that's getting done there. There's obviously some stuff at the back behind there, and obviously part of the whole the old I think it's the old bowling club's moving or something. It's
Correct.
yeah,
That's where the grandstand will go.
yeah,
And
excellent. Mate, all right, so let's get into Friday night. I mean, I've just got it in front of me here the details in the article that's in the club's website. Obviously, terrific Tahu, it powers Port to round 10 win. You got to say that obviously Indy Tahu is just having a gem of a season. Well done to
well,
her.
she is. When you consider that she's played every round this year, but the first three rounds she didn't even play in the forward line. So to be the leading goal kicker currently in the competition with 21 goals is remarkable. And yeah,
Unreal.
five goals in the latest games, equivalent to 8 to 10 goals in an AFL match. So
And I just think the class to finish it in the last quarter and just the way we kind of finished it off there 94 to 59, 15-4, 94 to 8-11, 59. There's such a maturity in just everything that just played out in that whole entire game because I respect the both Hawthorn teams. I think the Hawthorn Footy Club in general, and I think any win against them is at home or away is a great win.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the only other time we've played Hawthorn was in the final last year, where we came from 22 points down at three-quarter
Last year.
time to beat them.
Yeah.
And this game and the Suns game, Port have the two highest
Yes.
cumulative score games in AFLW, and both of them have occurred this season. So um, the attacking prowess of the side certainly can't be questioned. Yeah, we converted frequently from our goals in the forward half. I think it was one in every three entries we were kicking a goal, and that's frightening for the opposition to have to deal with.
Now, just take us through the game a bit. So, how are you feeling at say even halftime? I think there was a what was the lead at halftime? It was
Uh,
again from my memory. It
it's
was
just short of three goals.
yeah, it was a bit of an
But,
arm's distance again. Yeah, then they got close to 13. They got 13 points at three-quarter time.
yeah, they stretched it out to just short of 6 goals at three-quarter time, and then
Mm.
by the end of the game, yeah, what do they say? Poor kicking is poor footy. But I think it was the case of that we were just the ladies in the front half were clinical, and we were putting pressure on a lot of their entries that they were bringing in, and the even including the Melbourne game, this was probably the best four-quarter game that we've played.
Okay.
Uh, as we talked about, I mean, Hawthorn were a little bit unlucky to lose their ruck
Yep.
in a couple of hours before the game with appendicitis.
Right.
But
Yeah.
we've
Yeah.
we've had
Right.
multiple people, and we'll touch on Port's injuries
Yeah.
in a little bit.
We've had our
But
luck. Yeah.
exactly, and yeah, we would the better side won. So Hawthorn had their chances, but Port made the most of theirs, and yeah, we came away with a deserved win, and
Brilliant.
there's still the mathematical chance. There's light, there's hope.
Can I just quickly, I want to talk about some individuals and maybe just a bit of a coach's opinion, and then we move on to the showdown. Before I do that, before we get into the individuals, how would you see that Hawthorn kind of see that kind of game? Because I was just asking myself, like, I don't think the margin was anything to do with that. Like, 35-point margin for us, as good as that margin was. I feel like we played a game that had just as good of a win, and that there was a bit of a just a tussle with that team, the Hawthorn team, that it was the likes of the 3 point whatever the kind of margin at last year's game. It just happened to be a closer margin, but the margins are relevant when you just in some ways. I know it's a hey, maybe 100-point win would have just been nice and insulting, a real kind of a bit of a squeeze in as any kind of competition, sporting competition would be. But 35 points to me just I just wanted to kind of feel like on the flip side on that is, was there any, did we do anything better that we did last year? Is the margin 32-point margin difference, or do you think it was just we're going to see some tassels between the two Hawthorn and Port Adelaide women's teams for years to come?
If you look at their lists, that yeah, I think this is a good matchup for the next sort of 2, 3, 4 seasons, comfortably, just with the demographics of the side.
Yeah.
In terms of the way that the side played, this is the best contested match that we've had. So getting the mixture of winning the ball, the
Yeah.
hard ball on the inside, and having runners on the outside.
Yep.
This was the game where we had the best mixture of that.
Do you want to add some of
And
those? Do you want to just kind of kind of move into some of the individuals? Kind of just run
oh
up and
yeah,
down the
sure.
line,
Look,
mate. Up and down the line, just
Ash,
no kind of order in particular.
Ash Woodland, and Abby Dowrick
Beautiful.
had
Absolutely beautiful.
fantastic games in
Abby
the
was
midfield,
awesome. Yep.
and but the balance of them, even it wasn't just that they were getting the ball on the inside. There were occasions where they were the person that was receiving it on the outside.
Yep.
And Matilda Scholes again.
Yeah.
If she's
Again.
not
Yeah.
at a minimum in the All Australian squad, then I'm clearly watching a different competition. And then Gemma Houghton had a really good game, and
She's awesome.
Wendella Head
Yeah.
was another solid contributor.
Yeah.
And again, you've got like Caitlin Pope doesn't get a lot of the footy, but she provides a lot of
She's effective, isn't she?
enthusiasm, and
Yeah.
even Ella Bogue, she kicked two like ripping goals. So it was one of
Yeah.
those semi all played well. But look, Hawthorn kind of made us do that as well. Early on, Port made Hawthorn look a bit tired and slow. And if
Mm.
anybody was going to look tired and slow, I would have thought it was Port coming off
Yeah.
of the 35-degree game against Brisbane the week before.
Oh,
And
I
yeah, we
understand.
did have a day's break, but we were dominant. And yeah, the 5 goal, sorry, yeah, the 6 goal margin was well deserved.
Yeah. Now, yeah, as I say, any other individuals before we kind of look at it from I guess a bit of a coach's perspective, and then, as I said, I actually just thought of something else I want to talk about. Is that makes really good sense? Is hey, how realistic is finals? So, kind of what's on the line apart from I guess a bit of pride on Friday night. So,
Oh yeah,
yeah,
look, in terms of any other players, um, that was probably Molly Brooksby's
yeah,
best game in a few weeks. So she was really quite solid down back, and I think it's the contribution from the midfield that helps the defence out as well. And again, the synergy that Indy Tahu and Gemma Houghton are now starting to build is
pretty good.
like 7 goals between two key forwards.
What can you?
You'd take that.
Unreal.
You'd take that at any level in any competition anywhere.
It's
And
and I don't think it's only it can only get better. I don't think it's going to go backwards anyway or stagnate. I think I can only
exactly.
they're only going to get more comfortable in their own individual games, let alone as a teammates. So
And when you consider that for the season, apart from round one, Julie Teakle hasn't even been in the side. She was arguably a
wow,
tall forward last year.
scary,
So
brilliant.
yeah, there's
Yeah,
there's
she's
even
awesome.
more upside.
Absolutely. All right, mate. So, Arnell, how do you kind of think that she's seeing the perspective, and as if you could kind of elaborate to if she's kind of looking at positions on the ladder and just forecasting the next fortnight.
Oh, look, she even after the Brisbane game, she talked about how she was proud of that how the side had looked to execute the Port game style,
Yep,
and she saw the Hawthorn game as a reward for them sticking to it in
absolutely.
a sense. In terms of are we a chance of making finals? Look, even before
Mm.
last week, we talked about like there are a mathematical chance. A couple of results didn't quite go our way, so we're still
Okay.
2 games out. However, again, if results go away, we could end up falling into the finals. But the season's such that
Yeah.
there's not so many games as there are in the men's, and so every game is an opportunity to present the best of yourself. So going into the showdown match, as you said at the start, this is probably this is the closest the two sides have been together.
Yeah.
The Crows are trying to crack the top four. So
Yep.
from a premiership point of view, they've got a little bit more to play for. But
Yep.
from the opportunity to be the first port side to beat the Crows, this is the best. This
Yeah, we
is the
haven't beat
best
them yet,
opportunity
so
we've had in terms of the games we've played. And
good
each time
point.
we've played them, we've always got that little bit closer. Quickly, a couple of injuries. So Lauren
Yes.
Young, they
Yes.
rested her. So after the Brisbane game, they talked about managed. Well, they've now indicated that she's gone in for minor knee surgery. So we
Right.
know
Yeah.
that she's
Yeah.
had ACL for both knees. She'd been experiencing some knee soreness, so they've just gone in just to do a
To the
small
right.
tidy up.
Yeah.
So that the intent of that is to get it ready for next preseason.
Absolutely.
The
For
other
a
thing
full
that we
season.
can
For a
talk
full
about is
season.
we know,
Start from
we know
round
that
one.
Piper Window needed stitches, but she also ended up with she had a fractured cheekbone,
Right.
so she required surgery on that. And Kirsty Lamb's obviously done a number on her calf, so she's not available for selection either. So in terms of that doesn't change the team from the side that beat
No.
Hawthorn. So based on how the side played, there's probably not really much to consider in terms of if they want to make any changes
Yeah.
because the side performed well.
Yeah. So, what's your tip and margin for Friday night at the parade? And if you could also add just your upcoming experience.
How do I expect the game to go? The last time we played the Crows at Norwood,
Mhm.
we were in front at quarter time, and then it was just the Crows' experience that got them back into it. Uh, the Crows probably have the edge in the midfield. I mean, they've got a couple of really quality midfielders in Ebony Marinoff as
Yep.
the, the medal winner for the competition last year, and there's a couple of other players in there that go well. I expect that the Crows in the ruck, their ruck is just going to just step across the line as soon as the ball's thrown up to take away Matilda Schultz's jump. So I think that it's going to be an important game for
Yep.
uh, Chloe Gaunt
Yeah.
because
As a support
she's got a
to.
good leap on her. So I,
Yeah.
I they didn't
Right.
utilise her an awful lot. That was just very brief breathers for Matilda. I
Yeah, it's
hope
going to be
that
a good support for
they
Matilda, of course. Yeah.
give her maybe a little bit more midfield time, but that means that then Matilda can push forward and really try and stretch the Crows' defence.
Yep.
And the parade is a little bit narrower than Alberton Oval. So
Right.
I reckon that's going to be an arm wrestle. And yeah, look, I expect that the momentum that we've got over the last few weeks, if we're true to our game plan, there's no reason at all why we can't win by 3 or 4 goals.
Let's do that. Let's go for it. Exciting. Well,
And in terms of the game itself, yes, we're
yeah.
going. We're
Yeah.
fortunate enough to get a few tickets
Oh, that's
via my
exciting.
son. So there will be in the guard of honour to cheer
Oh,
the team.
nice.
They run onto the Norwood Oval. We've
All
had
right.
our
How good is
inoculation,
that?
so we're safe to go to Norwood,
Yeah.
and we won't pick up any germs. And
I'll have a, oh, that'd be great, mate. Enjoy that. That is going to be so much fun. Oh, you could. That's going to be special. Well, yeah, look
Yes,
forward to
yeah,
it. Friday night, Nord Oval against the Crows. It is showdown number 4 for the AFLW. Could be our first win. Now, I'm thinking, the heart is definitely saying Port Adelaide, but the head's saying Port by 1 now, like Port by 1 point. I feel like we can get over the line. It might be one of those games. It might be literally a goal in it near the end, and
yeah,
hopefully we can jag a win at the parade. All right, mate. Well, thank you very much for that. We'll next week we'll review a game. Hopefully that has a lot of exciting things to talk about.
exactly.
All right. Thank you very much. Thanks very much for
Yes,
again. She's got the power. This is a an awesome podcast celebrating the AFLW Port Adelaide team. Thanks again, Gavin. Really appreciate that, mate.
cheers.
Until next week, go the
Go
power.
the power.